A warrior, betrayed and forgotten, rises from the shadows. Blood will spill, empires will tremble. The arena calls once more. Vengeance is coming. Acas quickly defeats his foes, impressing the crowd. Lucius faces him next, leaving Lucilla overwhelmed as her son battles her husband. To prevent a battle macros and Lucius duel. Welcome to Movie Recaps. Today, we delve into the details of Gladiator 2. Full movie recap, thank you. 16 years have passed after Marcus Aurelius' death. His dream for Rome is lost. Twin emperors, Geta and Caracalla, with cruelty spreading corruption and war. The city nears collapse, but a few still hold on to hope. The movie opens in a peaceful Numidian village, where Hanno and his loving wife Aishat enjoy their life on a quiet farm. But when the danger horn sounds, Hanno senses trouble together. They don their war armor, preparing to defend their homeland from the approaching threat. Indeed, the threat is real. Roman army ships appear on the horizon. Defeat the Romans in Numidia. Commander Jugurtha rallies his forces, vowing to defeat the Romans. He reminds Hanno of a missed offering, but Hanno declares the Romans will be his sacrifice instead. Before the battle, Hanno shares a tender moment with his wife. There you are exchanging rings and pledging eternal love before parting for war. Roman ships, led by General Axius, approach Numidia city.
The wind is too strong.
As strong winds whip across the sea, Achaeus orders his troops to furl the sails and strike the water with paddles, moving swiftly toward the shore. Meanwhile, Hanno rallies his warriors, urging them to stand strong against Roman oppression. Numidia, the last free city in African Nova, must remain unbroken. Hanno inspires them, declaring that death is not their destiny and unity is their greatest strength. The battle begins as both sides launch explosive weapons from their slingshafts. General Acacius orders the siege tower to be raised, despite their ships taking heavy damage against the odds. The Romans reach Numidia's wall. When the drawbridge jams, Acas himself forces it open, and fierce combat ensues. Amid the assault, Parashit is struck, and Hanno distracted. He is also gravely injured and falls into the sea in his unconscious state. Hanno envisions Aishat being carried across a river by death unreachable. Despite his desperate cries, he awakens on the shore, heartbroken, to see her lifeless body floating nearby. Retrieving the arrow from her chest, he keeps it as a token of their love. As the Romans close in, Hanno gives in, driven by sorrow and vengeance. In the city of Numidia, mourners gathered for their dead, while the Romans burned the bodies, declaring it for the glory of Rome.
For the glory of Rome!
General Acacius hid his guilt, for the innocent lives lost survivors, including Hanno, were captured, marked as slaves, and stripped of their freedom, their grief turning into silent resolve amidst the ruins on the ship to Rome. Hanno mourned his wife in silence nearby. He spotted Jugurtha, injured and weak, and offered him help. Jugurtha thanked him, recalling their first meeting as he came from the desert.
In the desert.
When young Hanno was eager yet afraid.
I am sorry, my son.
Over time, Hanno had grown strong and skilled. Though Jugurtha felt his end near, he urged Hanno to stay true to himself and never let the Romans crush his spirit. As a boy, Hanno fled into the desert, chased by Romans for reasons still unknown. Escaping to Numidia, he found safety and grew into the man he is today. Sadly, those left behind faced the Romans' wrath and perished as the ships arrive at a port. The weary slaves gazed in awe at the grand city of Rome, its towering structures and bustling streets, a stark contrast to their despair in the city. General Axius was greeted with cheers by the Roman citizens celebrating his conquest of Numidia. Welcomed by the twin emperors Geta and Caracalla, Acas was honored with a laurel crown in games held in his name. Humbly, he declined the festivities, requesting only time to rest and reunite with his wife.
Remember the privileges we have granted her?
The emperors refused and insisted on the games, but reminded him of the greater conquests ahead. They can eat. War Persia and India awaited Rome's reach on the outskirts of Antium. Slaves are herded into an arena to fight feral baboons as a gruesome showcase for Roman buyers. Among the crowd, the stable master Macros watches eagerly, waiting for the games to begin. When the slaves enter the arena, Gera appears frail, and Hanno urges him to stay close.
Conquered enemies of Rome! You got them!
You got the baboons, snarling and sharp-toothed, are released, and chaos erupts. Jagera is quickly overpowered, bitten, and killed. Hanno steps in, grappling with one of the beasts. In a fierce struggle, he bites the baboon and chokes it to death, burning the admiration of Macros, who purchase him, seeing potential in his raw strength. Later that night, General Acacius visited his wife, grateful to the gods for his survival. She embraced him warmly, and they shared a quiet moment. Together,
thank the gods that brought you back home safe.
The next day, surviving gladiators were taken to their training grounds. From above, Macros watched as Vigo explained the rules and rewards of gladiator hires, including freedom for great fighters. Spotting Hanno, Vigo mockingly called him Monkey Eater, drawing laughter in the dining hall. The gladiators gathered for their first meal. Hanno's friends playfully teased him, with baboon sounds and laughter filled the room as they ate. Macros met his new gladiators and singled out Hanno. Curious about his skill against a man, after defeating an ape, he paired Hanno with Vigo for a duel. Hanno easily defeats Vigo. Very good, further impressing Macros. Macros admires Hanno's strength and fiery spirit,
Good arms.
calling it an art to choose. Gladiators, especially those with rage. Unmoved, Hanno refuses to fight willing, though he's forced to.
Whose head could I give you?
Sensing his fury, Macros offers him the head of anyone he desires. Hanno demands the Roman army's heads, or General Laus. Macros accepts the challenge.
Patience with those two is at an end.
Speaking of General Acacius, he enjoys a quiet moment with his wife Lucilla as they discuss overthrowing the emperors. He expresses his anger over the cruel treatment in Numidia, causing mothers to mourn their children. He vows the emperor's vanity must end, with his army arriving in AA. In 10 days, their plot will begin, soon moving to Senator Thayar's territories. A grand feast was prepared for the emperors and Roman nobles.
I knew the provinces were not enough.
Music filled the air as THX reunited with his old friend Maranos. Gladiators arrived, but Hanno remained unsure of his role. THX wondered if Macros had plans to become a senator, but Macros quickly denied it, changing the subject. Hanno nervously wondered what was coming next when they announced a combat between his gladiator, the mighty Vitek, and Hanno of Combat. What was meant to be a show turned deadly when Emperor Caracalla demanded a fight to the death.
Want swords?
The battle began. The fight was intense, but Hanno emerged, victorious, killing Vich. THX mourned the loss of his gladiator and the money spent. Emperor G, impressed by Hanno's skill, asked about his origins. From where did you, Hanno, refuse to answer, but Macros spoke for him.
See, his native tongue is all he understands.
Hanno then told a poetic tale that indirectly insulted the emperors. Though they didn't realize it, the emperor just laughed about it.
Grown so bored, but you surprised me.
And were eager to see the poet fight again in the arena.
As do I.
After the fight,
Come with me.
Macros rewarded Hanno with money and asked where he learned the poetry. He recited,
Who taught you poetry?
Hanno said he learned it from a Roman officer in prison when asked about his birthplace. He avoided the question, saying the past didn't matter. Instead, he asked how to use the money. Macros explained a gladiator could earn his freedom. Using money that night, Lucilla sought guidance from her late father, Marcus Aurelius,
And guide us.
as she proceeds to a secret meeting with the senators.
I'll hear.
A nervous Senator Grouse questioned their risky gathering. Asaias revealed their plan on the final day of the festivities. His 5,000 soldiers at AA would arrest the emperors for their crimes. Though skeptical, Senator TH was intrigued. Graz pledged loyalty to Lucilla. THX advised Lucilla to lead, assuring her that the senators would follow. As the gladiators passed through the gateway into Rome, homeless crowds filled the streets and certain areas.
Twins
There above the gateway, they noticed a sculpture of the legendary twins raised by a wolf. Hanno recounted their tale, warning his companions of the chaos and plagues. The twins had unleashed a foreshadowing of the twin emperors, now in power. True to his words, the city seemed diseased, its people restless and mentally unstable as the gladiators continued toward their destination. The narrative shifted to Senator THX and Macros. He found himself in even deeper trouble when Macros, upset by the delayed payment, doubled the wager. Meanwhile, VGO moved the gladiators into the arena's preparation chambers, lining them up.
Line up!
Hanno noticed a wall displaying victorious gladiators' names, but one name was scratched off, catching his attention in the Colosseum. The crowd roared in anticipation as the master of ceremony stepped forward.
Honor the victory of Rome!
He introduced the twin emperors, Geta and Caracalla, along with the citizens of Rome, celebrating Rome's glory. The Nidian barbarians would face the game's wrath, honoring General Acacius and Lucilla. Before the games began, the emperors asked General Acacius to give a speech.
A soldier.
Popular among the public, he humbly claimed to be a soldier, not a politician, urging the people to stay. Brave in these trying times, hidden within his words was a subtle message the emperors failed to catch, but Macros did. Moments later, the gladiators from Macassa stable marched into the arena, ready to face their fates. Under the watchful eyes of Rome, a Roman soldier, mounted on a massive rhino, was sent to dispatch the Nidian gladiators. The crowd roared with excitement, and the emperors watched. In amusement, the rhino charged, taking down one of the Nidian fighters. Hanno, channeling the spirit of the legendary gladiator. Maximus caught Lucilla's attention, stirring her curiosity. He diverted the rhino into the arena wall, forcing the Roman soldier into combat. Brother Lucilla, intrigued by Hanno's presence, began to suspect he might be someone familiar, though the soldier overpowered Hanno. Briefly, Lucile the emperor sought Lucilla's advice, and granted mercy to everyone's shock. Hanno rejected the offer, swiftly dispatching the soldier. Instead, the arena erupted, chanting Hanno's name, as the emperors and the mob were left both surprised and intrigued by the defiant gladiator. After the games, Lucilla returns to her chambers, unsettled by Hanno's striking resemblance to her late husband Maximus. In his movements and skill, a deep realization hits her. Lucius is safe. Hanno is Lucius, her long-lost son. Years ago, she sent him away as a child after Maximus' death. You're the sole heir to the throne, now desperate to shield him from the deadly plots of those seeking to claim Rome's throne. Now, he unknowingly stands before her as a gladiator. Meanwhile, Lucius meets Ravi, the doctor tending to his wounds. I'm Ravi. Ravi admits he was once a gladiator, but earned his freedom and now heals others as they talk. Macros bursts in. Did you hear that crowd? Brimming with excitement over his champion Lucius, who continues to win and impress at every turn. After some time, Lucilla invites Macros to her home. We've met before. He feels they've met. Before recalling his time in her father's African campaign, he cryptically says, "The best revenge is not becoming like those who hurt you." Lucilla knows of his influence across empires now sponsoring gladiators in Rome. Macros confirms they fight for freedom, then admires her father's sculpture before leaving Macros, then visits a friend to inquire about Lucilla. He learns that she had a son named Lucius, who was believed to be dead, though Macros seems to be troubled, unaware that Lucius is actually his champion, Hanno, in his yard. That night, Lucilla under house arrest by the emperor for her royal claims to the throne after her father, Marcus Aurelius' death, escapes in disguise with Senator Grass's help. She secretly meets her son Lucius, Do you know me? However, Lucius angrily rejects her, furious over being sent away from Rome. While she remained in luxury, he blames her new lover, General Acacius, for his wife's death. I'm so sorry, unaware of the sacrifices Lucilla made to protect him. Lucius chastises her, leaving her heartbroken. Get out. Returning home, Lucilla finds General Acacius waiting. She reveals that her son, Lucius is alive, and begs IOUs to protect him, willing to sacrifice herself for Rome. She insists they adjust their plans accordingly. On the training ground, gladiators prepare for the upcoming games involving rowing and navigating waters. Hugo Lucius, defiant, ignores Vigio's instructions, and is challenged to train alone, exhausted by the day's end. He admits defeat. Ravi intervene, treating Lucius's injuries with vinegar and becoming his confidant for the night. Ravi urges him to survive, sharing his own journey of endurance, until he earned freedom. When Lucius asks why Ravi remains in Rome, he reveals it's for his wife and children choosing to embrace life as Romans for their family's future. The next day, the gladiators boarded ships, preparing for a naval battle. Lucius rallied his team, urging them to survive. The ships sailed into the Colosseum, transformed into a flooded arena, teeming with gigantic sharks. Amid the cheering crowd, Lucius' team demonstrated clever tactics to overpower their opponents. Earning the masses' admiration during the chaos, Lucius spotted General Acacius and fired a crossbow that narrowly missed the emperors. Achaeus quickly fled the arena with Lucilla. Despite the victory, celebrations were cut short, as Vigio demanded to know who attempted to shoot the emperors. Lucius' team cryptically diverted his questions, keeping their secrets safe as they basked in their hard-fought triumph. I have news for you at Senator TAX's home. A slave delivers news for him, which he shares with Macrus, who suddenly arrives demanding payment, lacking funds. TR concedes his debt. He reveals a secret: General Axius and Lucilla plan to overthrow the emperors, with Achaeus rescuing Lucius from the arena. Tonight, Macros grasps the scheme and leaves swiftly. That night, General Acacius leads his team to the arena for the rescue mission. Unaware of Senator TRX's betrayal, disguised in hooded cloaks, they slip inside. Meanwhile, Lucilla is summoned by the emperors. Come with us, hidden Praetorian guards. Ambush Acacius men. Killing them, Achaeus is cornered and caught in the yen. General Axius and Lucilla are brought before the emperors, who express their disappointment despite their chastisement. Acacius laughs, showing no fear and declaring his exhaustion with their cruelty, enraged by his defiance. Emperor Caracalla demands his immediate execution, but Emperor Geta intervenes, insisting Achaeus be executed publicly for all to see. Thank you, Macros. Emperor Geta praised Macros for exposing the traitors, calling him a loyal ally. Macros suggested sparing them from crucifixion, proposing instead that the gods decide their fate in the arena. In the arena, Ravi tends to Lucius' wounds, as they discuss Lucius' recurring dreams of a black river, a symbol of death in their culture. Lucius inquires about the scratched-out name on the wall, and Ravi reveals it belonged to Maximus, a legendary gladiator, unaware that Maximus was Lucius's father, about to know him. Ravi takes him to an underground shrine where rebel gladiators are honored. Maximus's sword and armor are preserved there. Lucius touches them, recalling childhood memories of his father and the legacy he left behind the next day. Praetorian guards surround the arena, anticipating chaos in the games. Lucilla is moved to a seat, forced to watch as her husband is punished, and the master of ceremonies announces General Acacius' trial, where the gods will decide his fate. Achaeus enters the arena, facing 4 Praetorian guards for a deadly duel. Achaeus quickly defeats his foes. Impressing the crowd, Lucius faces him next, leaving Lucilla overwhelmed as her son battles her husband. We'll give it to you. It's too late. Let the go decide. I know who you are. Acacius, skilled as ever, easily outmatches Lucius, who can't get close. However, Achaeus surrenders, claiming respect for Maximus Lucius's father. Despite this, the emperor orders his death. Lucius refuses to kill him, and the archers quickly strike a IOUs. Down death will be too good for you. Furious, Lucius questions if this is how Rome treats its heroes. The emperor declares the gods have spoken, and while the masses protest, the Praetorian guards hold them back. Macros urges the emperors to return to the palace for their safety afterward. Lucius has flashbacks of his late wife. When Macros finds him, he asks why Lucius didn't kill the general who caused his wife's death. Lucius replies that as a gladiator, he makes his own choices. Macros insists Rome's reality can't change, and calls Lucius his instrument. You will be my instrument, but Lucius rejects this vowing to see Mechanus end. That will not be my destiny. Rome is in chaos after General Axius is death, and the people want to kill the emperors. Phil, the emperor. Geta angrily blames his twin, Caracalla. Macros manipulates both brother, convincing Caracalla that G is trying to shift blame onto him, means to blame you. He warns that Caracalla's ally, the monkey Darius, what will they do to Dand, might not survive the crisis, leaving Caracalla to make a tough decision as Emperor G watches the chaos his brother Caracalla enters, with a blade slicing G's hand. Despite G's pleas, Caracalla refuses to stop Macros, arrives supporting Caracalla's decision to kill Emperor Geta. On the other side, Lucius meets his mother, Lucilla, again, but this time they are both captives. After some regret, they reconcile. Lucilla gives him her father's ring, which once belonged to Maximus, and a Acas. He was readying troops at AA. Under the she tells him about the troops at AA, where Acas was preparing Commander Darius Sixus to overthrow the emperors. Is it true they intend to kill you? Lucius vows to save her when he learns they plan to kill her. I found you. I have no desire to lose you. But Lucilla isn't afraid, grateful just to see her son again in the Senate Council after the death of his brother Emperor Caracalla. Names Dardus, his monkey, as his first Sil, shocking the senators. D. They have no choice but to hail Dardus. Hail D. Macros is named second consul, and his plans seem to be going well. Macros for the celebration. He plans games and executions. Macros addresses the senators, showing them the fate of Geta. I must have power. He urges their support over the Praetorian army, which they give him overwhelming. Put your hands down. Macros meets Lucilla and reminds her of her father's dream for Rome, which he believes will never come true. He plans his revenge on Marcus Aurelius's daughter for what was done to him, once a slave with a mark on his chest. Macros now controls the empire. He will stop at nothing to eliminate Lucilla and claim the throne in the dungeon. Lucius calls Ravi and gives him a ring to deliver to General Darius Sixus in Osta. The ring Acasis marks Lucius as the true heir of Rome, he declares himself. Lucius Virus, the Prince of Rome, calling for the army's support. Shocked, Ravi agrees and leaves the dungeon keys with him. Thank you. As the Colosseum is being prepared for the games, Ravi rides to Osta. He gives the ring to General Darius Sixus, who gave you this. After explaining everything, the army then begins marching toward the city as Lucilla and the traitor senators prepare for the games. Emperor Caracalla arrives at the arena, unsure about killing Lucilla. You would never know. Peace Macros urges him to do it for peace, but he knows it will stir the crowd. Politics VGO attempts to taunt Lucius by handing him a wooden sword to defend his mother. However, Lucius and the other gladiators fight back, killing VGO and the Praetorian guards. Lucius then don his father, Maximus's armor, and wields his sword. All the acclamation in the arena. The master of ceremonies introduces the games for Emperor Caracalla, his councils and traitors, Lucilla, and the senators who must face justice. Except one gladiator will fight for them, our old soldier. Meanwhile, Lucius encourages the gladiators to rise up for their freedom, and a new Rome honor meant something in Rome. He promises to restore honor, rallying them with his sword, calling for strength and courage in their fight. By my SW in the arena. As planned, Lucius was chosen to fight for his mother, Lucilla. The Praetorian guards surrounded him. The setup eerily similar to the one that led to his father Maximus's death. But Lucius had a plan with his sword raised. He commanded the gladiators, and they surged into the arena, sparking chaos. Emperor Caracalla Una, aware, watched excitedly. Meanwhile, the Praetorian commander informed Macros that the army from AA was near the Praetorian guards, shot into the crowd. Inciting even more violence, the mob joined the fight. Macros, seizing the opportunity, killed Caracalla before fatally shooting Lucilla as the city rioted. Macros fled with Lucius hot on his heels. Yeah, ACA's and Macos's armies face off outside Rome to prevent a battle. Macros and Lucius duel after Macros nearly kills Lucius in a river. Lucius hears his mother's voice and finds the strength to kill Macros. Lucius reveals he is the imperial heir and urges both armies to unite for a better, real, a city for the many. What say you later? He mourns his parents in the Colosseum. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe to our channel if you haven't, and let us know where you're watching from in the comment section. Your support is greatly appreciated. My dear friend, feel free to click on the next video. Thank you.